This real castle was built to trap hell from getting out. Hauska Castle, in the Czech Republic, has no defenses, no water, no reason to exist, except one. Beneath it lies a deep pit locals believed was a gateway to hell. They said winged creatures crawled out at night, carrying the screams of the damned with them. So they built a chapel right over the hole and sealed it shut. But even today, visitors report shadows moving, strange growls, and something scratching beneath the stone. And some say, if you stare into the pit long enough, hell stares back. He worked the night shift in Australia's most haunted house. He quit after one night. Stay with me to hear what the caretaker saw that still hasn't let go of him. The Monte Cristo homestead looks quiet after dark, but caretakers don't last long. One man, hired to watch the place overnight, quit after a single shift. He heard sobbing coming from upstairs. When he followed it, the hallway was empty. Then he saw them, bloody footprints, wet and fresh, leading down the stairs. As he turned to leave, the front door slammed shut behind him. Lights flickered, the crying turned to laughter, and at the top of the stairs stood Mrs. Crawley, eyes hollow, dress black as ash. She began to descend, her feet never touching the steps. He left his keys, his paycheck, and never went back. Ever had a night shift you still think about? Comment below. If you're brave enough, like and subscribe for daily terror. And remember, some houses don't want you to leave. They say the soil on Poveglia Island is 50% human ash, once a quarantine zone for plague victims, then a mental asylum where the doctor went mad and leapt from the bell tower. This island near Venice has been sealed off for decades. Locals refuse to go near it. Fishermen won't cast their nets too close, afraid of what they might drag up. The screams, they still echo at night, carried on the wind across the lagoon. And if you listen closely, you can hear the bell that hasn't rung in over 100 years. Did the devil once visit this house in Ireland? Keep watching, and you'll hear what one girl saw that drove her mad. Loftus Hall sits on the Irish coast, cold, cracked, and cursed. One stormy night, a handsome stranger arrived at the door. The family let him in. Their daughter, Anne, was drawn to him. But something felt wrong. He didn't eat, didn't sleep, and never blinked. During a card game, Anne dropped a card beneath the table. She bent to get it and saw his secret: cloven hooves. He vanished in a blast of fire, leaving the floor scorched, and Anne screaming. They locked her in the attic. She died staring at the door, twisted and silent. Some say she's still waiting. Others say he's already back. Have you ever felt something watching you when no one was there? Comment below. Don't forget to like and subscribe for daily terror. And remember, you never know who's knocking. Is this drained pool haunted by a little girl? Stay with me until the end, because you'll hear what she said to a paranormal team who dared to talk to her. The Queen Mary is a retired ocean liner turned haunted attraction, docked in Long Beach, California. Below deck, behind locked doors, is the first-class swimming pool. It hasn't held water in decades. But something else lingers. They call her Jackie, a little girl who allegedly drowned during the ship's sailing years. Guests and investigators have reported laughter echoing through the dry pool, phantom splashes, and wet footprints on tile. Multiple paranormal teams have captured EVPs, recordings where Jackie seems to respond. In one clip, a voice asks, "Are you here with us, Jackie?" Jackie's voice answered, "I'm playing." A moment later, their equipment shorted out. The pool lights flickered, and the sound of splashing echoed through the chamber, even though there was no water. If you're still watching, like and subscribe for daily terror, and keep a flashlight close. Because if you ever hear giggling in the dark, Jackie may want to play. They said Sally was just a little girl, until the screaming started. Stay till the end, and you'll hear what happened when Sally got angry. In Atchison, Kansas, The Sally house looks innocent enough, but inside, it's a different story. A young girl named Sally supposedly died on the operating table here, and now she's the one doing the cutting. Visitors report being scratched, burned, and shoved, especially men. Paranormal teams have fled mid-investigation, screaming about growls in the dark. One guest even woke up with handprints burned into his chest. If you feel a tug on your shirt in the dark, it means Sally's picked you next. 6 million skeletons lie beneath Paris, but something else is waiting down there. The Paris catacombs stretch for miles beneath the city, lined wall to wall with human bones. Originally created to deal with overflowing cemeteries, this underground ossuary has become one of the most disturbing places on Earth. But some say it's more than bones. Tourists have reported whispers in the dark, disembodied footsteps, cold fingers brushing past them in empty corridors. And in 2004, police discovered a secret chamber wired with electricity, filled with surveillance equipment, and a note that read, "Do not try to find us." Some believe something ancient stalks the lower tunnels, something that doesn't like being disturbed. So, if you visit the catacombs and hear a second set of footsteps behind you, don't bother to run. It's already too close. There's just one rule for the night shift at the haunted Cecil Hotel. Don't answer the phone after 3 a.m. Stick around to hear what answered when a new clerk broke the rule. The Cecil Hotel is infamous for its dark past. Crimes, disappearances, and the kind of guests who left stains no one could clean. Some say the building itself holds on to every soul that's died inside. On his first overnight shift, the new front desk clerk found a note taped to the phone. Just one line. If it rings after 3 a.m., don't answer. Ever. At 3:16, the phone rang, and for a while, he just stared at it, letting it ring again and again. An hour later, he couldn't take it anymore, and picked up. There was nothing at first, just a low, uneven breath on the line. Slow and wet, like someone struggling to stay conscious. Then a voice came through, faint and brittle. "The walls are full of us." The line cut off, and behind him, he could swear someone was watching him from behind the wall. He quit that night and never returned. What do you think? Would you have picked up the phone? Would you have quit? Drop a comment. If you haven't already, subscribe for daily terror. And remember, some buildings don't forget their dead. This real crypt is so haunted. Over 500 people who've gotten close have reported being attacked. The Black Mausoleum holds the remains of George Mackenzie, a 17th century judge, infamous for torturing and executing hundreds. Locals called him Bloody Mackenzie, and he may be worse, in death. Over 500 people have reported scratches, bruises, choking sensations, even collapsing near the tomb. One woman was found unconscious with fingerprints around her neck. Tour guides say cameras fail, the air turns ice cold, and some visitors walk in and don't remember walking out. They say it all started after a homeless man broke into the crypt and fled screaming, blood dripping down his face, saying he saw a man with no eyes. They say if you feel breath on your neck near the Black Mausoleum, whatever you do, don't turn around. Have you ever heard of Spidergate Cemetery? Hidden deep within the woods of Leicester, Massachusetts, this old Quaker burial ground is whispered about in hushed tones, a place where the veil between the living and the dead is said to be dangerously thin. Its real name is Friends Cemetery, but no one calls it that. Locals insist that the iron gate at the entrance, with its web-like design, is more than just decorative. Some say if you pass through it at midnight, you're stepping into something otherworldly, and that if you step back out, you might not be the same. Legends claim the cemetery holds 8 gates to hell, each one unlocking a new level of darkness until you reach the center. Those who've dared to walk through all 8 report whispers slithering through the trees, strange shadows darting between the gravestones, and the sensation of unseen hands reaching for them. Then there's the story of the boy who was found swinging from an old tree near the center of the cemetery. Some say his shadow still sways there, even when the branches don't move, his tormented spirit forever lingering. If you listen closely, they say you can hear the rope creaking in the wind, even on nights when the air is perfectly still. Some claim there's an unmarked grave, one that no one dares to dig up, because whatever is inside was never human to begin with. But the most unsettling legend? It's what happens if you go there alone. Some say the wind begins to whisper your name, a breathy voice that seems to come from all directions at once. Others speak of an invisible presence that tugs at your clothing or brushes ice-cold fingers against your skin. And then there's the stairs. A small, lonely set of stone steps. Some say if you stand at the top and listen closely, you can hear voices beneath the ground, murmuring in a language no one recognizes. If you ever find yourself in Spidergates at dusk and hear the voices calling, turn back, because those who linger too long never leave the same, if they leave at all.